Harcourt. Hello, Festus. Go right ahead. Hello, Festus.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening. Go ahead.
I want to, in short, ask, first of all, commend the budget of our growth, our recovery and growth. Yeah? Are you hearing me?
Yes, we are. Go ahead.
Good evening. I want to recommend the budget of recovery and growth. But then I want to ask, I hope in all that concerns this budget, we can provide this budget. May it not end up in television discussion. At the end of the day, nothing may not be done. But we encourage the president of this nation over what he's doing. But then let's make sure that in all that concerns the budget, let there be complete and total supervision. God bless you.
All right. Thank you very much. And just to take it up from there, it's been said that the country has really never achieved more than 60% of budget implementation over the years. And here we are, hoping that 2017 will bring the much-needed growth and recovery.
Yes, the issue of implementation is a serious issue. So that a whole lot of it will not be spent. So, but with this, I believe the trend would.
NTA Tuesday Live, a network issue-oriented innovation talk show.
Thanks for staying with us. Just before the break, we had a caller, Awal, who called in from Bauchi, and he raised a number of, he made a number of comments, and we did say at that time that Senator Itai Enang would respond to those comments. And so,
thank you very much. Thank you, Awal, for the questions you've raised, and we were all in it together. And the question of the river basins, they were not instruments of corruption. It's only that their core mandates were not being pursued because they were to be direct instruments of the federal government to go into agriculture and rural development. That is why they were named basin and rural development authorities. And I'm not only familiar with the ones in the south. I'm familiar with the Sokoto, Rima, and a lot of all of them, the Benino, Wena, and so on. And the lands acquired by the river basins belongs to the river basins because the instruments on the documentations are in the name of the federal government. Those are the only lands that are owned by the federal governments in each of the states. So we can explore these potentialities. And of course, we know that when the constituency project arose, most members and senators preferred to domicile their constituency project in the river basin authorities, which were nearer to their own constituencies for the purpose of easy implementation. That was still not a diversion from their core mandate. Then I now go to the power thing and the investigation. I'm sure you remember, and you are talking about the Elumelu-led committee and all the investigations and the revelations that were made. I remember that at that time, most of the presentations that were made by the contractors and by the persons that were invited showed the fact that they had ordered for those equipment and installations they were to buy, which they were accused of not providing and collecting money. They had paid for them offshore, and they were being fabricated.
Abubakar, who's calling in from Port Harcourt, has been on the line for quite some time now. Hello, Abubakar. Are you still with us?
Hello.
Yes, go on.
Hello.
Go ahead, Abu.
I just want to start off.
Yes, go ahead.
Please, I complete because of agriculture. So I don't know wait. Huh? No, friend.
Oh dear.
Hello.
Oh dear. The line.
Hello, sir.
Okay. I'll tell you what we'll do.
Hello.
Abu Bakr, we'll just have to ask you to call. Okay.
Please, I complain because of the agriculture.
Okay. What's the
We
problem?
from our state for the local government. Already we reached a thing. So you know what people so you know.
You know what? No, you know what we'll do, Abu Bakr? We'll encourage you to call back because it isn't very clear. Let's hope that when you do call back, you'll get through and it will be a lot clearer. Okay, thanks for calling anyway. Okay, so Minister, you heard Dr. Kalu Idika Kalu.
Well, he said many different things.
Yes.
So I'm not quite sure which one you want me to respond to.
Well,
because the power sector, as Dr. Kalu pointed out, it's really more of a private sector. So government is more the regulator, and we have the transmission as well. But government cannot take our hands away from power because it's so critical. So that is why we're investing even in additional generating capacity. I spoke about the Mambila and the Kashumbila. So we are investing in the power sector, and we'll continue to support the power sector because it is so critical. So that's what I would like to say as far as the power sector is concerned. Then as far as the overall economic environment for the private sector, I think I agree with Dr. Kalu that this is an area that we have to keep on tweaking.
Minister, good evening, the SA to the President, and good evening, my sister. My name is Mohammed. I'm calling from Governor. Actually, I am very, very pleased that the government of the day is in power. I have great, in fact, a very high hope in the government. But I have some issues that bothers me. You permit me to give you a little bit of my experience. I am a graduate of mechanical engineering, and I have been searching for jobs. I search for jobs. In fact, I do menial jobs to survive. But very interestingly, I got 2012. There is this program that was organized by the former government, that was the immediate past government, that's called Shopee. And I applied for this, the Shopee program, graduate internship. But disappointedly, I finished that program without achieving anything. It was very surprising when we went to the director's office. He told us we never knew we had even graduated from that program. And what does that mean? It means people that we were not supposed to be in that office were there. And we were really disappointed. Many of my friends and colleagues had to go and protest to get their due from the government. Some of them could not get it. Some of our colleagues that applied for the union, luckily for them, it was this government that came to bail them out. And what I'm trying to point out is this. Thank God for this government, they have Empower Online, Empower. You see, it is not about the theory or about the paperwork. It's about the implementation. And the implementation has to be seen through, that the people benefit. Because it is not about hearing on radio or maybe people coming to the air or coming on TV to tell you that they are benefiting. But it's also practically in the environment. And how do we do that? I advise the government not to just appoint directors or appoint managers to this program, but let us be sure that whether the minister or those are in charge of this program sees to the practicability, and that is the delivery of this program to the people that are supposed to benefit. Because the Empower program is a louding program, I agree. I have two brothers that have been enlisted. I applied also, hoping to be enlisted in the local sector. So my advice is that the government should look into this program, into Gwagwalada. Before, from Gwagwalada to Garki, I will have to pay 1,000 naira, and I am searching for a job. It means if I don't go out, I do not get that permission. So please, I want the government to do something about orientation. Wow. Thank you very much once more.
All right. Thank you very much, Mohammed. Well, again, so that was directed to the Minister of Budget and National Planning. He was talking there about the NPower project.
Well, thank you very much for the suggestions and the advice. But I can assure you that His Excellency the President is very much in touch and aware of what Nigerians are going through. And that is why he's so concerned about it. If you recall, in his budget address, he actually reached out to governors and said governors should please help to make land available to those who want to farm. He made an appeal. So he is aware, he is concerned, and in fact, every time I talk with him, that is what he's talking about. How can we bring succor to Nigerians? How can we make life better for Nigerians? And in terms of the NPower,
gentlemen and ladies, I'm very pleased. The government is taking a positive action to alleviate the suffering of Nigeria. As the plight of pensioners is a very serious issue. And the former regime approved 53% payment for pensioners and implemented 33%. The arrears were still pending. This regime this year told the ministry the 32 months arrears and the civil servants 24 months. Unfortunately, the Nigerian police were left out. They are given only 3 months. So I'm asking the Minister of Finance, what measures are they putting in place to see that the Nigerian police pensioners are well the arrears of their 39 months.
There are Nigerians who say, look, with all the mind-boggling figures we've been hearing about, you don't even need to borrow a dime from anywhere. It's enough to take care of all the issues, pull the country out of the economic doldrums, and grow the economy.
We did announce, and from time to time it's announced how much has been recovered. But for the 2017 budget, over 250 billion has been taken into the budget. But you know that with recover this, there are always administrative and legal issues that have to be sorted out before we can start spending. So we don't get the money and start spending. You normally go through some processes. But we believe that we will be able to go through those processes, and so this funds, we've already taken them into the 2017 budget. And it also includes the MTN fine, as well as recoveries that the government has been announcing from time to time.
Well, let's now take, let's go back to the phones. We have Alex calling in from Port Harcourt. Hello, Alex.
To partner with government to raise capital. I was reading on the internet today, and I read that about 75% of properties that are not occupied in Lagos, and it's the same in Abuja here. You understand? And there are houses that sell for 5 billion in Maitama or Banana Island, and most of these houses are empty. We talk about foreign investment. Why can't we sell these properties to mobilize capital? Do you understand? Because we all say it, and it is like we are mounting it, that SMEs are the engine of economic growth. How do we in Nigeria mobilize our youths? How do we mobilize them in gainful employment, to create jobs and create wealth? So these are part of what we do, and I want to. This is a call to Nigerians to support this.
All right. Let's go over to Kaduna. We have James on the line. Hello, James. Hello, James. Hello, James. Are you still there?
Hello?
Hello. Go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
James on the line from Kaduna. I want to contribute on security. My concern on security is that if mainly in the village are not finding it easy, this class is herdsmen. Sometimes we are being told that some of the herdsmen, they are not Nigerians, they are foreigners. And government encourages the youth to go into farming. A situation whereby the farming communities are not safe for somebody to go and farm. What is our faith? That is one. Two, there are some parts of this country, most especially within the North Central, farmers don't go alone. Sometimes you see you have to gather as much as 10 or 20 or 30, even 50 people to go to farm. What you used to know is that if you are ready, you and your wife can go to farm. You alone can even go. You and your kids can go to farm. The situation whereby somebody go to farm alone, the only thing the family members will hear is that the person has been shot dead in the farmland. The area of security is very important for the rural farmers. Now, kidnappers used to go to some farmland. There are some top Nigerians that want to invest in commercial farming. The person will let me go and see my crops or what I planted. All the next you hear is that the person was kidnapped in farmland. Then, as I speak to you now, there is coffee in Kafanchan, in Kaduna State. This thing started between the clash between farmers and herdsmen. And now, if government did not do what they're supposed to do, the thing might generate to something different. The government should sit up in area of protecting the farmers in the rural area. The farmers in this country don't have to say to the minister. He said they take salaries and pensions seriously. This is a personal thing because my younger brother got a job and we are happy for empowering youth. If you have something to do, you'll not be idle and you'll not think of doing violence in the society. But as I'm speaking to you right now, his arrears of 7 months has not been paid to today. Presently, they've not paid him 3 months' salary. He's working in the transporter under Ministry of Information. The arrears, salaries are still being owed. So when we are talking about this, I just want to know what is really the way forward because people are out there looking for jobs. Now you have a job, yet you don't have any take-home salary, and you're going to work because your supervisors and your bosses will want you to come to work. At first, I thought he was not being sincere. I had to go and find out. So please, I want to know what this government is doing concerning salaries that federal parastatal will be old salaries for 3 months now, and this is the end of the year. Okay. And at home, you like, I have a job. You have nothing to show for it. Arrears are not being paid.
Okay. I guess,
Please.
Well, Anthony, I guess the issue is about, employment, and when there's employment, the issue of late payment of salaries.
Well, I don't have the details of this particular case, and I'm not familiar with it. But one thing I can say at the federal is that we try to make sure that once properly documented, all salaries are paid as and when due. But I wouldn't know exactly what the particular problem in this particular parastatal in the Ministry of Information is. I wouldn't know. But we've met in terms of the 2016 budget. All salaries have always been released and paid.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't know about this particular case.
In fact, to add to what the distinguished senator and the honourable minister said, is that where there was shortage in terms of allocation in the budget, there were requests by the executive to the legislature to approve, and that environment has been approved. For instance, in the amnesty program, in the NYSC, in the Public Complaints Commission, that has been approved and is being done. Then the pension you are talking about, which many persons have mentioned, I think we should draw a distinction between federal government pension and the liabilities of state government and local government, quote unquote. Because, for instance, you go home, you get teachers saying that we've not been paid pension. You get state workers saying we've not been paid pension. State governments are liable and responsible for workers of the state. And the parastatals have responsibility for pensions. And even the police that our brother raised some time ago, there is the police pension scheme.
Continue to improve upon. First, as I said earlier, we talk about the enabling infrastructures. We can't just talk about growing this thing, but we have to create the infrastructures, including the credit base to assist the growers. Then you have to make sure that the quality of personnel that oversee the respective orders that are provided under whatever schemes. We were under AGOA. We didn't do very much with AGOA. But our own farmers are trying to match some of the efforts by their counterparts, say in East Africa, where they are producing flowers and all kinds of other things. But there, the quality has to be standard, the delivery, packaging, and all that. So I think that is very important. Of course, that goes again to the earlier question about the credit facilities that are provided. Government just needs to set the framework, and then all the producers can be lined up within their own private endeavor to take advantage of all this in terms of the relative cost and to the profitability of what they are doing. So I think that's a whole range. Now, if I might just say something about the buy local and so on, we also have to be careful. Of course, no country is an island unto itself. Even when the styling or the cutting is local, you find that by the time you look at the material, a lot of it is still coming from the outside. So progressively, in the process of growth, we should improve the local contents from 10%, 20 to 30, 50%, and so on. That goes for all things. Remember, even the vehicle area where we were planning on producing vehicles in Kaduna for a while, among others. We set a target of about 30%. I think all that seemed to have collapsed because from the basic things, rubber, the synthetics, and so on, producing batteries or plastics and basic metals, we've not really matched because all those ancillary things have not come up. And one might say that really what one would have hoped, particularly with our links to India and China, we should be availing ourselves of the size of these two markets to broaden the ability of Nigeria becoming a major sourcing area. And you can produce almost as much as you want that will go into the Indian market and in the Chinese market. So it's doubly troubling where we are now shifting our consumer imports to the very same countries that should really be relying on us, on our relatively cheap labor, on what should really be cheap power supply, because we have all sources of energy without even going to solar and nuclear. We have all these other sources of energy. So we should be a major sourcing area for these two major giants. And this is one way of getting the small scale and the medium scale producers to grow. And I might add that when we say that it is small and medium scale, that it does happen that way because they are supplying to larger companies. So it's not as if they are doing it on their own. We have to also take care of the needs of larger companies. They are the ones that demand raw materials, finished, semi-finished from the smaller.